What's going on? What's going on, people? It's your boy. It's your boy, Jermaine McCrimmon, and I'm excited. I'm excited for a new year. And hopefully, guys, you guys are excited for a new year too. Because one thing about fresh beginnings and new beginnings is that we can always set forth out from the very beginning where we want to go, how we want to start it, what mindset we need to be in to move forward through the lanes of the world, through all the traffic, all the hiccups, and through all the turmoil. We can just move and do what we need to do and set forth a pace, a navigation, a layout of how we want to get there. So I'm your host, Jermaine McCrimmon, and welcome to Humanity Unplugged podcast. And one more time and again, we got to give you this work. It's a new year coming, and I spoke about that earlier. But I want to talk about today about all our social media platforms. Give a shout out to all the people that support us religiously or in passing, the ones who just stop by and say hi, for all the hate that participate. We thank you. For the ups, the downs, we thank you. I want you guys to know that if we didn't have trial and tribulations, our life would be boring. If we didn't have obstacles and things to climb, how could we test our faith? I want you to know that you made it another year to another Christmas time, to another new year, December 31st around the corner. And I'm claiming it that you make it there in God's speed under God's conditions, because we can always want what we want and to get there on our own. But we also have to realize, is that the way God wants us to go there? Or is that just us barely getting there on our own and having nothing but frustration when we get there? Because when God gets us there and he lay out the plan for us and the route for us to go, you enjoy the ride a little bit better. You understand the process. So today we're going to talk about a few things. This is, I believe, our 95th episode, or maybe our 96th episode. And I must say, we are picking them up. Actually, this is our 97th episode. I just happened to look. I'm telling you, I can't keep up, man. I'm rolling them out. Excuse me. I'm picking them up and I'm putting them down. We're 3 away from 100. That's a monumental thing for me. 100 episodes, podcast, giving y'all guys information. I do have some updates that I want to share with you guys. I spoke about a young lady back in September, I believe, or August, of catching fire going to a Dollar General. And she went to Dollar General with her boyfriend, and such a tragedy that the young man wanted to disrespect her on the level that he did. If you don't know, this young girl was with her fiance, and you got to do the story. Just you do your research, bring up the young girl that was burned at a gas station, but it happened at a Dollar General store. And what happened was the kid threw gasoline on her and set her afire. Now, for that to happen alone is crazy. And for someone to take a cigarette and decide that your life ain't worth it and to do that to you is ridiculous. Now, I don't know about you. If I come out of having 85% burns, I don't think I would be the same individual. Uh, I thank God that I might have made it out of that situation alive. But looking after the results, I must wonder how many times it came across that young lady's mind that she might not be here than look the way she was looking. However, that's neither here nor there. That's just my opinion of saying sometime we get what we want, what we lose, what we have. There's a purpose for everybody, and you wonder, what is your purpose for you to receive 85% burns over your body and still be able to function on this earth? Is it that God has something deeper spiritually for you? Or is it that we just don't understand our purpose, and sometimes dramatic things like this happen in our life to change our direction that we're in? That's neither what I know or what I might just speak to you. I guess we just have to live our life and find out. But in general, after this young lady got burned and survived the burn, this happened, I believe, in September. She survived the burn, or August, she survived the burn. This past October, the same lady was in the car where her and her sister got shot in the head. Now, I don't know if she died. That I don't know, but I do know she was a victim of up close gunfire on her as well. Now, I'm telling you, for someone to have that type of luck to survive a burn, to turn around and get shot in the head, is just like, my God, what's going on where she living at? What's going on in her world? And some people might say, well, did she deserve to have such tragedy? Did she deserve to have such drama and trauma in her life? And I guarantee you the answer is no. But sometimes this is spiritual warfare and demonic spirits and things as such, whether you believe it or not. That is my belief, that they attack your generation and generation, and they carry out the same cycle of destruction in your family's life. And you ain't got to believe me. For all you know, you don't know me. You may think that I don't know what I'm talking about. But for one thing for certain, two things for sure, something is definitely wrong in this lady's life. And I don't believe one person deserves that much damage or that much turmoil or grief or sadness in their life. I do believe that it's hereditary from her ancestors of a curse or demonic spirits. This is just my belief. This is just my belief. I could be totally wrong. For those of you that believe what I'm saying, put it in the comments. For those of you that believe this could be some type of spiritual warfare against her whole family, please put it in the comments, because oftentimes I ask at the beginning of each podcast, God, give us the wisdom and knowledge to understand and to accept things we don't understand. In our life, things happen all the time that we don't understand and we don't want to put a name to it. Well, let me just tell you from my experience in life, you got to put a name to what's going on so you can address it with the name. You got to address it with the name, call out that name and rebuke that name, and also bring that name to faith and say, God, please, whatever spiritual realm that's against me, cover me. I know I didn't mean to go this way to you today, and I didn't mean to get into spiritual warfare and Christ and things, religion. That's not my intent at all with this podcast, but I got to keep it 100 with you and tell you how I feel about certain things that happen in people's lives and how it probably done happen in their life over and over and over and over, but just no one speaks about it. So I'm here today. I'm here today to let you guys know there's some things that we have to fight spiritually. Everything we cannot fight just talking to that person one-to-one. You got to take it to prayer. You got to take it to your faith and ask your faith to fight it, to keep you safe. Over time, and as I went through church as a young kid and throughout my life, when I was a little bitty boy, my grandparents prayed for me. My mother prayed for me. Her mother prayed for me. Aunts and uncles prayed for me. And I want you to understand that through those prayers, we're still being blessed. We're being blessed from prayers that were sent up back in the 80s that's blessing us now in 2025. If those of you do agree with that, thumbs up in the chat, thumbs up everywhere. If you do believe that, put in the comments when you see this or hear this, leave a comment, because it's important that people understand that I'm not the only one that thinks like this. This improves your neighbor's faith when they understand that one or two agree when it says it in the Bible that when one or two come in God's name, he will be what? In the midst. And I'm not here to quote Bible to you. I'm not. But I want you to understand everything happens for a reason. Nothing happens just for season. Your faith is always being tested. And as we come to another Christmas, your faith is being tested. The world's faith is being tested. Your neighbor's faith is being tested. Your partner at the job faith is being tested. His energy, which is negative or positive, will come across you because you're sitting beside him. So sometimes you'll hear infractions or work violence where one person got shot because of another person coming in with a gun, and you just being at the wrong place and perhaps at the right time because you was at work, violence came upon you. And that energy you receive wasn't even for you, but you're a result of that energy. You get hit, you get hurt because of somebody else's energy. Just the other day, we had a shooting in the school out in where it was, Long Island, Brown University. Energy transfers over. Other people get affected by this energy that had nothing to do with them. Those kids were minding their business in college. They was doing what their midterms. Bullets don't have a name on it. They were minding their business. They were just chilling. But this one kid energy that was negative, he wanted to imply his energy on the rest of the people at the school. And when he did so, that negative energy reached out and touched other people. And some people might just tell you by coincidence, other people didn't get hurt. But what about the ones that did get hurt? What about the ones that did get shot, injured? What about the ones who lost their life because of such incident of just negative force, negative energy? Doing the right thing, but being in the wrong place at a specific time that energy had to be transferred negatively from one person out to another. These things happen all the time. Sometimes it's a low frequency of energy. Yes, I said it, a low frequency of energy. When I speak about low frequency, when people talk to you or disrespect you, or they say slick stuff to you and you ignore it, these are low frequencies. These frequencies are put out there as baits for you to entertain so that frequency level can go up. So you can attract heavier, deeper spiritual attacks upon you because you raise your frequency. See, sometimes, I don't know, for those who know, you know, but they said if I couldn't say a word to God, if I couldn't talk, if I wasn't able to move my mouth, sometimes your frequency you give out can display just waving of your hand is a positive frequency to the Most High. Just like you give out positive frequencies, people give out negative frequencies, negative energy. And maybe my 98th or 99 episode, I'll talk about these energies and kinetic energy and kinetic frequencies that project onto your life and that push you into wrong areas as you go on your journey every day. And you have to be conscious of these negative energies and these negative frequencies that could take you into the wrong space. You often wonder in relationships and boy and girl can't get along. They just not blending, the frequency of not getting together. It's just nothing but turmoil. Their kinetic energy is not matching. They both might be on separate pages. They both might be in different directions. And I want you to know that this is the issue. This is the problem. So we have to be aware of our kinetic energy and what we do, how we talk to people, how we interact with certain people, everybody that you meet, what information you give them. So it's very important that we check that out. And I'm sorry, just getting adjusted to the chair again. It's very important we check that out and we monitor our frequencies. So I'm gonna get back to Christmas. There's a lot of things going on around this time. And for most of us who's going Christmas shopping around the world, a lot of things is happening. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of an update of what I see and what's going on, and just some information you could be mindful of as you travel up and down the highways and the byways. Whether you know it or not, 3 men escaped out of DeKalb County out there in Atlanta. And they're inmates, they escaped, and they're on the loose. This is off in Memorial Drive. Now, I don't know if you know, but DeKalb County been on fire for the longest. It's a lot of stuff going on in Atlanta. It's a lot of things going on, period, in the world. But especially DeKalb County, they always in the news. Some things is always popping. And it could be because whether, the jail is located in the central of right off in Memorial Drive. I don't believe people understand when you build an institution like a prison dead center of all escape routes or highway routes. Tell me what genius did that? I just don't understand. These guys escaped at night. So off the top, common sense, stupid is, stupid does. We know they're not going to escape during the day. That would just be really stupid to run out in all orange outfits, hopping in cars. So to make that orange as dull as they can, they would do it at night. So you would think night patrol would be on their job, number one, on the next level. But I'm going to tell you something out the way that I noticed with a lot of these DeKalb officers and the prison officers that I've noticed that work at this institution. I'm not picking on no one. I'm just letting you know what I see with my eyes. My eyes is what it see. What it see is what it see. You can get mad all you want, but if it wasn't there, I couldn't see it. Let's be honest, right? It's the truth. I can't just make stuff up if it ain't there, but if I see it, it's there, it's clean, I said my visual. So what I noticed with a lot of these DeKalb officers, a lot of them are overweight. Now, back in the day, I'm not saying that because I'm against people who weight, because I'm not. I'm a big boy myself, but I know in the profession of law and law enforcement, you need to be agile. You need to be able to get up and down them stairs. You need to be able to get around. And I believe they need to put in a weight requirement fitness test. And I think the fitness test they need to implement need to be rigorous and need to be better than what they have out in DeKalb County, because everybody there look like they eating 24/7, 7 days a week, and every minute of the hour and every second of a minute, they putting down the cheeseburger. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody there. I'm just calling what I see. They all look like they're overweight. And that's a bad thing, because when I say that, you know what comes with overweight, right? Obesity, sleep disorders. So when you sitting there in a prison at night and you carrying on that extra weight, you get these other diseases that come with being an obesity. And some of you guys that never heard of that word, look it up and know what it means and what it stands for. But a lot of people that's overweight and that's obese have sleeping disorders. They snore. They can't keep their head up. They go to sleep. If they sit down for 30 seconds, they can just fall off into a distant land of sleepiness, of just being tired. And now you're working overnight when you're supposed to be sleeping in your bed. You're at work. And now all of a sudden, 3 inmates have escaped on night watch. Well, when we look at the facts and we get past the weight discrepancy, we must say that this was a inside job. Now, you guys ain't got to believe me, but 1 and 1 equals 2, and there's no way in the world they getting out of there by themselves without somebody helping them. Not unless they got Flintstone age security. Anybody knows that a maximum prison or a prison of that magnitude that's in the central hub of Atlanta and DeKalb downtown off of Memorial Drive should have state-of-the-art security, police presence. Again, police presence. One more time, police presence. No one should be able to escape like that and get away and be on the hunt for this long, just free. However, as we look into this a little deeper, they've been gone now for over 15 hours. And the longer they're out, the harder it is to bring them back. So, now Fugitive Task Force was notified, and they're going to do their best to bring these guys back. And perhaps by Christmas or the new year, these guys could be tracked down and brought back. Now, I mention all that because I do want to talk to you about the inmates. I'm not giving out no names. That's not my job to do that. But I will tell you that these guys were serving life sentences. You had a pedophile, a guy that allegedly touched a young girl, 10 years old, raped her or whatever, allegedly. I'm not for sure. You guys do your homework. You check it out. I'm just letting you know, informing you of what's out there while you're on the highway. Be aware of this. These guys are on the run. They're moving. Quite sure they might not even be in Atlanta right now. They didn't get out of there, but there's no way they still walking with orange uniforms down the block now. So it's obvious that someone set it up and had someone outside waiting to pick them up, and had someone that was outside that was there sitting there that picked them up, drove them somewhere. So some cameras got to be around that caught something. And I'm just saying, do your due diligence. But you check every gas station within a 25-mile area, or maybe 150-mile range, and you might pick them up. I'm just saying. The average tank of gas holds a certain amount, right? A mileage, and project where the gas stations, if they were going east, they were going west, north, south. This is what, the Fugitive Task Force will do. You didn't hear this from me, but this is what they would do, right? We'll check the mails that they were receiving in prison to see if there's any codes that we need to break down. But it had to be some communication between the inside and the outside. And the only way to do that is through some mail, some phone calls. So as we retract and go through all this information, a lot of new news will come up, and we will get some more information, and a bounty will come out on their heads to try to get people to interact in what's going on. So we'll keep posted with that and see what's going on. I don't want to talk about this next person, but I have to speak about it because it affects us. And, Trumpet Trump. He refused to rule out war with Venezuela. And, allegedly, I hear that he has seized his second oil tanker, and he's invading their airspace. He done stopped their airspace, and he's doing all of this stuff to Venezuela. And can somebody tell me the reason? I mean, can somebody really tell me why Venezuela is now the new Mexican mafia situation? Why is now Venezuela now our new Arriba la Raza, as in the new drug lord of the world? Why is Trump so aggressively pushing Venezuela around? And that's your question you need to look into, because I don't need to feed you food that you don't need to eat. I want you to feed yourself. So look into it. Tell me what you think. Tell me why you think in the comments Venezuela is being bullied by President Trumpy Trump. And be honest with you, what's the real reason behind that? Please, let's talk about it. For those of you who want to come on the podcast show and talk about it, and let's talk about a few other topics, feel free to reach us at info, our podcast, info@humanityunplug.co.site. Reach out to us. Let me know if you want to come on the podcast. We could talk about different issues. I'm free. I don't charge that. I ain't going to pay you either. You know, I ain't got no money. I'm just here as a messenger. But we can always talk about information, politics, whatever comes across your mind. Let's talk about it. Let's have that sit down. But let's look into that, why Trump is bullying Venezuela. And Cambodia says Thailand launched the strikes after both parties could not come to agreement. And what that means is, I don't know why Thailand is launching strikes against Cambodia, but it's war on every hand. We got Iran and Israel. They about to go at it again. They can't come to agreement after Trump said he fixed it. They might go back at it. Now we got Cambodia and Thailand. Thailand launched some stuff. Now I know they're mad that some things are going down. Presidencies, different things like that, some rules, regulations. People are not being treated the same. Thailand feel what they feel, and Cambodia is saying, we don't care. We're going to do it like this. So both parties need to sit down and really talk about it. We don't need war, And my last and final thing that I want to talk about, I know you guys haven't heard of this, but I'm going to bring you there anyway. It's about Ecuador. Ecuador has a state of emergency. Do anybody know why Ecuador has a state of emergency? And before I give you this information, I wasn't going to put a video up, but I have to, because this is just such a nice video. And I love it. I love it to be my closeout. I'm trying to talk more and give you less videos because I don't want to be video heavy and I don't talk. So please bear with me as we in this transition of doing both. Ecuador is in a state of emergency because the Mexican cartel has risen their crime rate out there in Ecuador. And they have went on a state of emergency because every prison out there, the government is going into that prison, turning it upside down, trying to stop the cartel. And I applaud them for that, because do you realize if it's that easy, why it only takes Ecuador to do that? Why are we not doing that over here? Well, I'll tell you why. Because legislators have said that inmates have a lot of rights. So since they have a lot of rights, and they do, don't get me wrong, I think they do, they should have rights to a certain extent. Because you're elected to go to prison. There's not many people that's innocent in prison, but there are some. So don't let me say that, oh, you take it the wrong way. Everybody that's behind bars is not guilty. There's always a percentage of people that's caught up and they have no way to get out of it at the present time. So they have to stay there until their name is called where God can make them righteous. But I'm going to give you this scenery that I want to share with you about how a newscast out in a news center out in Ecuador was taken over by Mexican cartel live on TV. These guys came up there and went crazy. They all got arrested, allegedly, looks like. But the audacity, the galls, the I'm not scared. I'm going to do what I want to do. It's crazy. So I want to give it to you. I want you guys to hear it. Listen up.
Now to the chilling images coming in from Ecuador late today. Armed men storming a live TV broadcast in Ecuador. The studio crew taken hostage. It all happened after the government there had imposed a state of emergency. Here's ABC's Matt Rivers now.
Tonight, this is the chilling moment. Armed men stormed the set of a public TV channel in Ecuador, firing off guns and waving apparent explosives during a live broadcast. The studio crew taken hostage for at least 15 minutes on air as the country watched.
You should see.
Police later surrounding
people
the
are
station,
staying there, just
several suspects.
Laying on the ground.
And across Ecuador, fiery blasts rocking multiple cities.
No
This one
issues.
engulfing a police car.
They all listening, you know, and you have to. Could you imagine going to your safe, apparently should be safe, news station where you work at? Say, God forbid, I'm just saying, just to get you there and have the image that they might have endured that day. They went to CNN. Say you went to CNN or some new big news channel, and your security team could not hold them off. And people robustly just broke through there and just took over the place and held everybody hostage. When I tell you Ecuador, they got big kahunas, these guys ain't no joke. Unheard of. Have no fear in what they're doing and what's on the line. Let's continue.
The wave of violence beginning just hours after Ecuador's president declared a state of emergency, following a prison escape by notorious Los Choneros gang leader Adolfo Macias.
Now, this guy Macias is the drug lord over there, and he's the kingpin, and this is where all this ruckus is going on, because he's serving 30-something years in prison, allegedly. And if you notice, when you watch this video, and I post it, you're going to see all of the police that's around him are wearing masks. And they're covering their face because this man is so connected that the people that's watching will scan their face and go after their families. It's real.
The government battling with what they say are at least 22 different criminal groups angered by that state of emergency. Tonight, authorities say at least 7 police officers have been kidnapped.
7 cops kidnapped. Have you heard such a thing? 7 cops kidnapped, missing. Ecuador, for real.
Ecuador, once known as one of South America's most peaceful countries, seeing an explosion in recent years of organized crime-related violence linked to Mexican drug cartels.
And David, that state of emergency will remain in place for at least 60 days, which gives the country's military the right to enter some of the prisons there, criminals inside of which responsible for so much of the violence we've seen recently.
So this guy made a news clipping of it, report of it. He's not even in Ecuador when he's talking about this. Let me be real factual with you guys. He's in San Antonio, Texas, while he's giving his report about what happened in Ecuador. So he knew to bring his tail back over here to Texas, where he's a little safer, and talk about it. Don't start talking over there because you come up missing before you get up out of there. So just food for thought, just to let you know. I hope you enjoyed the 97 episode of Humanity Unplugged podcast. Just gave you some things you could think about as the new year come to an end, but thanking God in return for another year. And even though you might believe, and in conclusion and close, you know that it could have been a better year in 2025, but thank God we have 2026 coming, and we can make that our better year. For those you loved ones, we love you guys. Take care, and God bless.